Guizhou government forcibly sells cemetery. Miao residents smashed police car and arrested SWAT officer. A collective riot by Miao villagers recently occurred in Anlong County, Xi'an Prefecture, Guizhou Province. In order to increase fiscal revenue, the local government forcibly sold the cemetery and dispatched special police to seize the ashes of the elderly, which met with strong resistance from the villagers. Miao people in Anlong County. The officials in Anlong sent these policemen to beat these ordinary people. According to online news and videos, an old man from Xi'an village, Xinglong Town, Anlong County, Guizhou Province, passed away not long ago. His family cremated his body and planned to bury him in the village because they could not afford tens of thousands of yuan in cemetery fees. However, in order to increase fiscal revenue, the local government claimed that the deceased must be buried in a designated cemetery, otherwise it would be illegal. In the early morning of January 9th, hundreds of special police officers and civil servants armed with shields, forks, and other weapons forcibly broke into the Miao village in an attempt to take away the ashes of the old man. According to traditional Chinese folk customs, it is hoped that the elderly will be buried in peace after death, and moving the grave is a taboo. Mr. Cheng, a Guizhou citizen. Burial is a 1,000-year custom, but they ask for cremation. The so-called businessmen are interest groups, so collusion between government and businessmen must exist. Some people in Guizhou said that similar incidents occurred in 2018. Mr. Cheng, a citizen of Guizhou, there was such an incident in 2018. In Xi'an Prefecture, Guizhou Province, an old man passed away and had been buried for a week. The local village officials dug the body out of the grave. Yes, there were many uniformed police officers who beat many people. Later, the police officers from our Sandu County were also used to block the road. I was almost beaten when I passed by in person. I hate them very much. The villagers blocked all exits of the Miao village and smashed police cars and official vehicles of the special police. The special police had no choice but to surrender and hand over their shields, forks, and other weapons. After apologizing and making promises to the villagers, he left the Miao village on the morning of the 9th. In this regard, Ms. Sheng, a citizen of Guizhou, said that don't worry about being settled by the future. You should do the right thing. As long as everyone unites as one, they will eventually succeed. Ms. Sheng, a citizen of Guizhou. Everyone has his rights to defend what he thinks is right. I also hope that we can breathe freely under the blue sky. I think people are like this. Just do the right thing. Unity is strength. This sentence will never go out of style. Concerns arise over mobile cremation vehicles amidst ongoing epidemic in China. The current epidemic situation in China is severe, and mobile cremation vehicles have been put into use again. However, some people have questioned that they may become a tool for the authorities to steal organs and burn corpses to eliminate traces. A few days ago, Xu Rong, a senior Chinese medicine practitioner who is proficient in Yi Xue, analyzed on the TV program Elite Forum that China's epidemic in 2024 will be very serious. Xu Rong, an expert on Yi studies and a master of traditional Chinese medicine, from winter to spring this year, the temperature will be extremely low. It will be an abnormality in the climate, so it will be cold again in autumn and winter throughout the year. The wetness is very serious, so it is very serious basically all year round. So next year, that is 2024, is the most serious year, that is, it is basically everywhere in mainland China. Recently, a number of mobile cremation vehicles have reappeared in China. The news has caused panic among the public. Many people think that with so many missing people in China, their organs may be stolen and their bodies destroyed. Mr. Li, a citizen from Beijing, last year was the time when the death rate peaked. Many of these companies were manufacturing mobile cremation vehicles. During that period, the advertising intensity was particularly strong. Mr. Li, a citizen from Guangxi, said, "These days, people in the circle of friends are talking about this. That student signed the voluntary form for organ donation. Oh, it's really scary." Since 2010, I don't know which evil force behind it has been supporting the organ transplant industry. This student and that young man in mainland China have used his body and blood. After he collected the information through physical examination, there always appeared some students who disappeared for no reason. At the same time, it was reported on the Chinese internet on January 10th that Beijing Sinovac, which has mass-produced COVID-19 vaccines, has stopped issuing epidemic performance bonuses starting in January, citing the suspension of vaccine production. Sinovac confirmed on the same day that the vaccine has been discontinued and has stopped selling. Deadly coal mine accident in Henan exposes ongoing safety concerns in China. On January 12, 2024, an accident occurred at the Xi'an coal mine in Pingdingshan, Henan province, killing more than 20 people, highlighting the widespread safety hazards in coal mines in mainland China. The Pingdingshan Emergency Management Bureau issued a notice on January 12, stating that at about 14:55 that day, a coal and gas outburst accident occurred in the 12th mine of Tianan Coal Limited Company in Pingdingshan, Henan province. As of 22 August, there were still 45 people left to conduct preliminary verification of underground search and rescue. Among them, 22 have been contacted, 8 were killed, and 15 are missing. Regarding the officially reported number of victims, some local netizens in Henan said, "The actual number of people is more than 30. Don't ask how you know it." Some netizens responded, "In the end, it will not exceed 20 people. If there are more than 20 people, the level of the accident changes, so there's not much hope. If we haven't found it, the most likely reason is that it's been buried and hasn't been dug out yet. Hey, let's hope for a miracle." Mainland China is the country with the most frequent mining accidents in the world. According to the International Energy Network, 2 coal mine accidents occurred in Shaanxi recently, resulting in 2 deaths. On January 7th, a transportation accident occurred underground at the mint mine of Yangquan Coal Industry Limited Company of Luan Chemical Industry Group in Shaanxi Province, killing 1 person. In January and August, a transportation accident occurred at Tongsheng Tongji Coal Limited Company of Datong Coal Mining Group in Xinzhou, Shaanxi, killing 1 person. In 2023, coal mine accidents occurred frequently. According to data from the Coal Resources Network, major coal-related accidents have occurred one after another since November last year. On November 16th, a major fire accident occurred in the joint building of Yangju Coal Mine in Lishi District, Luliang City, Shaanxi Province, killing 26 people. On November 28th, an accident occurred at Shuangyang Coal Mine owned by Shuangyashan Mining Company in Heilongjiang, killing 11 people. The interval between the 2 accidents was only 12 days. According to incomplete statistics, many major safety accidents occurred in succession in 2023. On February 22, 2023, a serious collapse occurred in the Xinjing coal mine open-pit coal mine in Alxa Zuobanner, Inner Mongolia, resulting in 53 deaths and 6 injuries. Shocked at home and abroad. As of September 24, 2023, at least 57 coal mine safety accidents have occurred, resulting in a total of 160 deaths. Among them, Shaanxi Province has the most accidents. As of November 18th, a total of 103 mine production safety accidents occurred in Shaanxi Province, killing 119 people, including 87 coal mine accidents, killing 100 people. The number of accidents and the number of victims ranked first in the country. 1. On February 24, 2023, Deutsche Welle reported that statistics released by the China Mine Safety Supervision Bureau showed that the number of mining accidents in 2022 will double that in 2021, with the death toll as high as 245. Jack Ma's mysterious appearance in Paris sparks speculation amidst Alibaba's shifting fortunes. Jack Ma recently appeared on Avenue Montaigne in Paris, France, where many top luxury brands gather. Avenue Montaigne is located on Avenue des Champs-Élysées. Many of the world's top luxury brands are gathered nearby, and it is also a regular residence for nobles and celebrities. It can also be seen from the photos posted online that the much older Jack Ma is wearing a dark blue jacket and off-white trousers, with his hair combed into a 3/4 length. The report also pointed out that during this trip, Jack Ma also met with LVMH Group President Bernard Arnault and the third son appeared together, presumably to discuss cooperation-related matters. In June last year, Bernard Arnault appeared in a store in Beijing's core business district. It is understood that LVMH Group attaches great importance to the Chinese market after the Wuhan pneumonia epidemic. According to other media reports, Jack Ma also appeared in the French NBA regular season, wearing a jersey and watching the game with Alibaba co-founder Zhou Tsai and his wife. When the CCP wants to target people who pose a threat or are unwilling to obey, or when it wants to plunder something, it often uses the method of making people disappear. In the past, when Jack Ma disappeared, many people worried that he had been killed or detained by the CCP. The People's Bank of China announced on December 28, 2023, that after agreeing to change Ant's Alipay company to have no actual controller, 6 companies declared that the rights and interests of Jack Ma and 4 others had been cleared. This represents a change in the ownership structure of Alipay's parent company, Ant Group, with Jack Ma's voting rights reduced from 53.46% to 6.8%. Jack Ma is no longer the actual controller of Ant Group, and Alipay has also changed its sovereignty accordingly. In this regard, netizens once joked that Jack Ma's Alipay was communized, and this is the ultimate destination of private enterprises. In fact, Jack Ma's movements have been attracting attention since he criticized China's regulatory system at the Bund Financial Summit in Shanghai in 2020. Since September 2021, Jack Ma has appeared in different countries from time to time, including the Netherlands, Japan, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. At the end of 2022, it was reported on the internet that Jack Ma had been living in Tokyo, Japan for nearly 6 months. Some Chinese netizens living in Japan said although the Zhejiang Entrepreneurs Association once emphasized that Jack Ma never left, the Financial Times also reported at the time that the 58-year-old Jack Ma had been living in Tokyo, Japan for nearly 6 months, amid the Chinese Communist government's crackdown on the technology industry. Staying at rural hot springs and ski resorts outside Tokyo has kept a low profile. According to a report by Japan's Friday magazine in December 2022, Jack Ma currently lives in a villa with an area of more than 20,000 square meters in the hot spring resort Hakone. This villa is owned by Alibaba's major shareholder SoftBank, transferred by founder Masayoshi Son, but when Friday reporters went to the villa to check, the other party refused to confirm. However, according to the person in charge of a sushi restaurant in Hakone, Jack Ma has been visiting the restaurant from time to time since 2019. After the COVID-19 epidemic, he ordered takeaways. He likes to eat tuna belly and sea urchin sushi. Sometimes he orders 10 pieces of each type and gets free delivery. The location we went to was a beautiful villa. Even though Beijing has a trump card in its hands, it doesn't dare to stop it. So far, many people are still curious, why can Jack Ma legally live in Tokyo for half a year without an immigration visa or naturalization in Japan? According to multiple media reports, in 2016, Jack Ma, as the chairman of the board of directors of Alibaba Group, invited by the United Nations, he served as a special advisor on youth entrepreneurship and small business at the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. The appointment was personally signed by United Nations Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon for Jack Ma. This is the first time that the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development has hired such a consultant since its establishment in 1964. Within the United Nations system, the Special Advisor is equivalent to the Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations, so Jack Ma becomes an official United Nations official and global citizen. Not only that, in order to facilitate Ma Yun's globalization of small and medium-sized enterprises, the United Nations will also issue a special United Nations Red Pass to Ma Yun. Therefore, Jack Ma has no problem traveling to any country, and even Beijing officials cannot prevent him from leaving the country. It is understood that there are 2 types of UN passes, red and blue. The Red Pass is only issued to high-level officials. The holder has diplomatic immunity and visa-free treatment in the country where the non-citizen is located, similar to a diplomatic passport. Others use the Blue Pass. China's Strategic Support Force in Disarray as commander vanishes amidst ongoing purge. The purge of the rocket force has attracted attention from the outside world. Now there are signs that another military branch, the Strategic Support Force, is also facing reorganization. Zhu Gansheng, the commander of the Strategic Support Force, disappeared last year when the military purge was in full swing. It has been nearly 6 months since he was suspected of being involved in the case and has been investigated, but he has not been replaced so far. From January 8 to 10 this year, the third plenary session of the 20th Central Commission for Discipline Inspection of the Communist Party of China was held in Beijing. Hong Kong's Ming Pao published a signed article on January 11 stating that among the military and political officers of the major military services, only 2 commanders were absent and were attended by political commissars. One was the newly appointed Navy commander Hu Zhongming, and the other was the commander of the Strategic Support Force Zhu Qiansheng. Zhu Gansheng was promoted to commander of the CCP's Strategic Support Force in June 2021 and to the rank of general on July 5. But on July 31st last year, Zhu Gansheng was absent when the CCP held a reception to celebrate the 96th anniversary of the founding of the People's Liberation Army. At that time, the top brass of the rocket force were almost blamed. Appearing at this reception became a signal to show whether the military generals were safe. Some media believed that Zhu Gansheng was also unlucky. Yao Cheng, former lieutenant colonel staff officer of the Chinese Communist Party's Naval Command. As for Zhu Gansheng being pointed out to have been missing for half a year, it is certain that something happened to him. Otherwise, it would be abnormal for an army or military and political chief to not show up for more than half a year. Zhu Gansheng has disappeared for almost half a year now, and the outside world has different interpretations. Yuan Hongbing, a legal scholar in Macau. This Zhu Gansheng is the commander of the Strategic Support Force. He was handed over by some members of the Rocket Army in the early stages of the purge. He actually belongs to the same group as this and this purge. This official is the subject of Xi Jinping's major purge. Yao Cheng, a former lieutenant colonel and staff officer of the Chinese Communist Party's Naval Command, believes that the Strategic Support Force and the Rocket Force are different in nature, and the possibility of corruption in equipment is also small. Yao Cheng, he doesn't have missiles, airplanes, or warships. He just uses electronic equipment and things on the internet. It should be said that from the perspective of equipment, the possibility of it having an accident is very small. But one thing that is basically certain about his accident is that at the beginning of last year, a balloon floated over the United States. This incident caused Sino-US relations to reach the bottom. In addition, after the balloon was released, there were rumors that Xi Jinping, I just think that Xi Jinping was not reported at all. After the leadership of the Communist Party of China implemented military reforms, the Strategic Support Force, alongside the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Rocket Force, became the 5th largest branch of the Chinese military, divided into 2 parts: aerospace systems and network systems. The authorities call it an important growth point for new combat capabilities.